most registered National Historic Landmark in the city of Savannah. As we go a little further along within the tour, I'm going to show y'all that's where Juliet actually founded the Girl Scouts and lived as an adult. To the right in the grassy median, there's a great marker right there. That marker marks the spot of the Jewish burial ground. On the back of that marker are the names of 16 people that are buried in that burial ground. 5 months after this colony was established, a group of 43 Jews arrived here. Oglethorpe gave them that piece of land to be used for that purpose. That's the first Jewish cemetery in the city. Church on that corner undergoing renovations, Independent Presbyterian Church. Congregation dates back to 1755. At the very top of that church, there's a steeple. Well, that's the steeple where the feather floated down at the beginning of the movie, Forrest Gump. And when the feather floated down, it floated directly ahead of us, there in Chippewa Square. There at Chippewa Square, that little flower bed, there's a black sign that says Chippewa Square. Exactly where the sign is, that's where the bench was located, whereas Forrest sat on it with the chocolates, telling this whole life story. Forrest sat right on that bench. Forrest said, Mama said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, and that's all I got to say about that. And as I aforementioned, I told most of you that there's a replica of the bench on display in the History Museum. Take a look back over to the right. Look way up in the sky towards the church to the right. You get a better view of the steeple. That's it. That's where that feather floated on down on over there, the Chippewa Square. Here on the corner on the right is the First Baptist Church, not just in Savannah, but in the state of Georgia. This house on the right is undergoing renovations. That's the Barrow House. It dates back to 1848. Notice the ironwork on these homes. Excuse me, y'all. Not just these homes, but as we go throughout the historic district, iron was a sign of wealth, and there were several iron foundries in the city. Take a look here on the right. There's a little red Mini Cooper car. Then there's a tree and a house. At the base of the house, at the bottom, behind that tree, notice that dolphin downspout. I'm still talking about the ironwork. Here on the right at the other end of the house, there's another dolphin downspout there as well. But more importantly, back over to the left, in the center of the square, there's a statue. Now that's our founder. That's James Edward Oglethorpe there in the center of Chippewa Square. All right. As I pull up, here on the right, notice this building here on the right with the flags out. That's the Sixpence Pub. It's an old English pub. Notice the old English telephone booth out front. Sixpence is known to be Savannah's original, authentic British pub. Any of y'all remember a movie which is entitled Something to Talk About? Starred Julia Roberts and Dennis Quaid. Part of that movie was filmed at the Sixpence Pub. Yeah, they filmed several movies here in Savannah. You able to maneuver your little on side of your honey? Yeah. So he let you sit by the window. Move one up if you want to. You good? I'm good, thank you. You welcome. Okay, we going. I'm trying to tend to their business. We going. We going to stop number 4. That's where we going. Take a look here on the right for me. Notice the second building. Kind of built like on a Moroccan style. Now the home of the Christmas shop and the Saints and Shamrock shop. That building marks the location of one of the first Ford Motor Company showrooms. This is stop 4. Would any of you care to exit here? All right, well, we'll continue on. I don't mean to sound redundant, but I have to ask at every stop. Madison Square is ahead of us, named by 4th President James Madison. In the center of that square, there's a statue. That statue in that square, that's Sergeant William Jasper. Sergeant Jasper, he was a Revolutionary War hero. Notice this house here on the corner on the right, known as the Old Pumpkin House. It's still in its original color. Its formal name is the Old Sorrel Weed House, built between the years 1840 to 41 by Charles Cluskey. That's where Robert E. Lee stayed during his tenure here in the city. And is also one of the most famous haunted houses in the city of Savannah, featured on the Sci-Fi Channel on the Ghost Hunters. The buff color house coat on the right with the green awning, that's a green Belgian house. House built for Charles Green around the year 1853. That's where General Sherman stayed during his occupation here in the city. The house is known as Sherman's headquarters. As y'all know, the city of Savannah was not burned during the Civil War. It was spared, surrendered as a gift to President Lincoln. You can find all types of Civil war memorabilia. They're at the Green Melting House, which is known as Sherman's headquarters. Green allowed Sherman to stay at his home. He said he wanted to save the other residents of the city the embarrassment of hosting the enemy. There on the corner on the right is a Griffin Tea Room. It's owned by the Savannah College of Art and Design. As I aforementioned, the college owns in excess of 60 buildings in the city. There on the corner on the left is a red brick building on the left, also owned by the college. That building that houses Shop Scan. 90% of the items in the shop are made by the students. But more importantly, the building on the left has two black cannons out front. The building used to be the home of the Savannah Volunteer Guards Armory, built in 1892 by William Preston, and that's also the first building the college purchased in the city. That's their admissions office.
Isn't that nice?
Monterey Square is ahead of us as we enter it. Monterey Square was named for the American victory at Monterey, Mexico during the War of 1846 to 1848. In the center of that square, there's a monument there, which is dedicated to General Count Casimir Pulaski. Pulaski was a Polish nobleman and soldier, came in from Poland during the American Revolution. He offered his services to Washington as a soldier, but he was mortally wounded on October the 9th of 1779 during the siege on Savannah. Now, those of you that are familiar with that book, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, second house on the right as I come on around. Big red brick house, excuse me, y'all, that's a famous Mercer house right there. House built in 1860. It was built for Confederate General Hugh Mercer. Hugh was the great-grandfather of Johnny Mercer, you know, the famous singer and songwriter. Johnny was Savannah's very own native son. Mercer House became famous from that book, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. That's where it all took place. Was a private residential home up until about 9 years ago, now open for touring. Notice the beautiful ironwork and architecture design of these homes. As I mentioned, iron was a sign of wealth. That's a noble, hardy house. Notice the beautiful ironwork, architecture design. That house built in 1860, it is owned by Alex Raskin. Alex has his antique dealership in the basement as well as on the parlor floor. House on the right, the Armstrong House, dates back to 1917. The house is a prime example of Italian Renaissance revival style architecture. That little fence around that house is a mini replica of the fence around Buckingham Palace. The house used to house Armstrong Junior College, now the home of a law firm, Bowen, Williams, and Levy. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Forsyth Park is ahead of us. Named for John Forsyth, one of Georgia's governors. In the center of that park, that's one of the most photographed items in the city. I got all y'all on the right, don't I? You slide over there and get you one when I make the turn if you're more than welcome. I don't mind. All right. Tan color hat, he moved on over. We're going to get that picture for us, honey. That is Forsyth Fountain. That fountain is a replica of a famous fountain in Paris, France. Fountain place in the park. There you go. 1858. You got it?
I got it.
Forsyth Park on the left. I'm waiting for blue shirt in the back. You got his, okay. Forsyth Park on the left is the largest park in the city of Savannah. Our next stop, number 5, is on the other side of Forsyth Park. There's the mansion. We're getting ready to enter the Victorian district. The houses in the Victorian district, they date back as far as the year 1850 during the Queen Victorian era. The Victorian district, allow me to say this, it far extends the historic district. So this is just the very beginning of the Victorian district. As I make this left turn here in just a moment, there's a pale buff color building corner on the right. That building is of great significance and importance in the city of Savannah as well as throughout the state of Georgia. The building that I'm speaking in reference to there on the corner on the right is the Georgia Historical Society. Society, founded in 1839, third oldest state historical society in the U.S. We're in the Victorian district. There on the right, and that's a good picture taker right there. That's Magnolia Hall. That's a piece of property that's owned by the Savannah College of Art and Design. There on the right, house number 513 with the large white columns, our ex-county coroner, Dr. James C. Metz. He owns that house. But most of these houses, they're private residential homes. Got a few bed and breakfast inns along the way. There on the right is a Whitaker Huntington Inn. And as I said, this is just the beginning of the Victorian district. Mustard covered Victorian house, sage green trim. That's another good picture taken. Built in 1895. Totally renovated inside now 3 years ago. Two nice side porches, one up and one down. Yellow building on the right, that's a Forsyth Park Inn. Next to the inn on the right is the Chestnut House, as we refer to it as. This Victorian district is undergoing quite a bit of revitalization. Back over to the left in the center of Forsyth Park is a monument there, which was erected in the year 1875, dedicated to the Confederate soldiers, those that lost their lives during the Civil War. During the time of the Civil War, Forsyth Park on the left, it was used as a campground. The trees that are lining the park, not just lining the park, but throughout the city, those big trees, those are state trees, which is a live oak tree. They would name the live oak because regardless of the time of year or the season, the trees, they never ever lose all of their green leaves. Something that's hanging from the trees is called Spanish moss. It's neither Spanish nor is it a moss. It's an airborne plant, and believe it or not, it's also a member of the pineapple family. There on the left, as I pull up, there's a monument there. That monument on the left is known as a Spanish-American war hero, dedicated to the soldiers from Georgia that went to fight for Cuba during the Spanish-American War. To the left in Forsyth Park is our farmers market. Every Saturday, the farmers come to the park and sell their fruits, veggies, goods, wares right there in Forsyth Park. Beige building there on the corner on the right as we approach it. Those are the Telfair Arms Apartments. Now a senior residence building, formerly Telfair Hospital for Women. That name Telfair should sound familiar to some of you. If you take a look up top at the building as well as at the bottom over the open doorway, still says Telfair Hospital. Built in 1884 by Mary Telfair and her board of directors. Hospital was built by women, ran by women. It was for women only. The only way a man could go there is if he went to visit his wife, and if his wife had given birth, had a baby boy, the baby boy couldn't stay there very long. The Spirit gave him 3 days, and she was very adamant about that. They said this Mary was a woman that was ahead of her time. That's what they said now. Back over to the left again, beautiful Forsyth Park, laid out in 1851. The park is in excess of 30 acres in size, basically used for social and cultural events, as well as for recreational activities. This red brick building here on the right, that's the mansion on Forsyth Park. The mansion is one of 2 4-diamond 4-star hotels in the city. Been open now about 12 years. In that hotel, there's an art gallery that has $2 million worth of art in it. There's a couple boutiques in there, a couple spas, beautiful hat collection. The building here on the end on the right was a pre-existing building, an 1888 Victorian-style mansion. That's now the restaurant, 700 Drake Street. We are here at stop 5. If any of you care to exit here. Yeah. All right, I'm going to pull on up. And y'all take your time as you exit. And enjoy your day. And I thank y'all much. You're more than welcome. I appreciate that. Take your time now. Good morning. We'll do it on the river. You that stop one. Grab me some of those maps right there. You got a map? Do you have a map? Okay. All right. Come on and join us.
Thank you.
Good morning, you guys. A lot of the sites on that other side, but y'all can sit where you want to sit. How you doing? My name's Denise, and I'm going to be y'all guide. Just pick y'all up here at stop number 5. I'd like to welcome y'all here to Savannah, first of all.
Thank you.
You're more